Hey there chess enjoyers, today we will together continue to explore the exciting chess world, or to be more specific, we are diving deep into the beautiful world of chess openings. How you already read in the title of this video, today's topic is the Nimzowitch-Larsen Attack, also known as the Queen's Fianchetto Opening. Named after Adrian Nimzowitsch, a Latvian-born Danish chess player, and Bent Larsen, also a pretty famous Danish chess player considered as the best Danish chess player ever of all time. The Nimzowitch-Larsen attack appears after the key, or also called the main move, which is pawn b3, instantly preparing a fianchetto here on b2 on the queen side of the chessboard. And black in this position has two different main lines. Either they answer now with pawn e5 or d5, like this. Let's at first take a look at pawn e5. And here white has essentially two different options depending on what they want to do now in the chess match. If they consider to allow their opponent to occupy the d5 square and thereby occupy the whole center of the chessboard, then in this position at first a debut of a chess match could look like this. Of course, obviously at first bishop b2, fianchettoing the bishop and also attacking the black pawn on e5, knight c6 by black defending the pawn, followed by pawn e3 allowing the black army, so the opponent of the white army, to play pawn d5 and really occupy the center of the chessboard like this right now. And the game could now go on with, for example, bishop b5, a move with, yes, a pretty obvious intention, because in the following move white wants to capture the black knight here on c6 to afterwards capture the now undefended pawn here on e5 by the black army. But of course, black often prevents this by, defending this knight, or rather this pawn here. Alright, but the alternative here is to not allow or to prevent black of playing pawn d5 and occupying and taking control of the pretty important and valuable center of the chessboard. And this is by the white army mostly done with pawn c4, instantly contesting and defending this pretty important d5 square. In this case, black can, for example, now proceed with an open Sicilian. Here they continue with knight f6, on which white now plays pawn e3, and here black often plays pawn d5, on which these pawns here are just being traded, and black has not occupied the center with two pretty strong pawns on d5 and e5. Or black can proceed with the closed Sicilian, where they here now play pawn g6, white again plays pawn e3, black fianchettos his bishop too, but not on the queen side of the chessboard, but rather on the king side of the chessboard on g7. White now plays and develops his knight on f3, we have pawn f5 by black, and so on and so on. But instead of pawn e5 like this, black can also answer on pawn b3 by white with d5 like this. And here we have the same situation again, depending on what white wants to do in this position, and there are again two options. Either they allow pawn e5 in the following moves and the occupation and control taking of the whole center of the chessboard by black, or they of course want to prevent it because they don't want to play a hyper-modern chess style approach. So this could, for example, look like this, so preventing pawn e5. Of course, white at first again plays bishop b2, fianchettoing their bishop, like basically in every single variation of the Nimzo-Indian attack, also called the Queen's Fianchetto Opening. Black now answers with pawn c5. We have again pawn e3 by white, on which black plays knight c6 like this, already preparing pawn e5 and the complete occupation with three pawns right now in the center of the chessboard. Therefore, white obviously plays knight f3, preventing pawn e5 here in this position. And here the play often takes the form of a reversed Nimzo-Indian defense after knight f6 by black, followed by bishop b5 by white, pinning the black knight here on c7 to his own king on e8, and basically limiting the whole movement of this knight on c6 by this. So these were the two main lines of the Nimzowitsch-Larsen attack, also known as the Queen's Pawn Opening, with pawn e5 or also pawn d5. What is also interesting about this opening is the move order issue, because the same opening, so the same Nimzowitsch-Larsen attack, can also be reached after at first knight f3 and afterwards pawn b3. This is still called the Nimzowitsch-Larsen attack or the Queen's Pawn Opening. It is just the same opening reached after a different move order. Yes, pretty obvious. So the issue whether you should start either with instantly pawn b3 or at first knight f3 and then b3 is also pretty interesting, but actually just a matter of taste. On the one hand, at first knight f3 leaves less variations for black to answer, or with which they can now continue playing the chess game. But on the other hand, pawn b3 at first instead of pawn b3 after knight f3 leaves white with way more scope for tricks and traps in the debut of this chess match. So both variations, both move orders to reach the same opening have its advantages and also its disadvantages. But especially if you're just a chess beginner, you're also a low intermediate chess player, just don't worry about it. It doesn't really matter, and start the Nimzowitsch-Larsen attack how you want it to start and how you want to play it. And this was an audio with this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and activate the announcement bell so you won't miss any more videos on this channel. And also leave a like if you like this video and write down there in the comments about which other chess topics you want to have a brand new video about. Other chess openings, opening traps, chess theory, and so on and so on. Till next time, bye!